Everybody, and okay. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Cali Sports Report. I'm Ethan Hanson. That's Zach Groff, not to be confused with Jared Goff. He's not his cousin. We got a lot to talk about today, including a Game 7, which is going to be up for debate this off season. One of the best performances that we'd ever seen from LeBron James, taking his talent back to Cleveland, and in 2 years later winning a championship, but yet you still feel a lot of speculation about that game and about the outcome and about the Cavs. Tell me your thoughts, my favorite conspiracy theorist.
Okay, game 5, no Draymond. Bogut goes down. You've lost two major pieces. That game's out the window. Cavs win that one. Game 6, I played basketball on Saturday, and I got away with a lot of stuff because there was no ref. And LeBron got away with more on Game 6. Like, there were so many calls that he got away with that Steph Curry touched LeBron and whoop, foul. Like, Steph Curry, did not help his situation by throwing his mouthpiece and getting himself technical.
Well, he was already out of the game.
But it's one of those things where, he's getting fouls for things that probably shouldn't have been fouls. And then Game 7, I think that was just weariness. I mean, they went to Game 7 with OKC. They went to Game 6 with Portland, Game 5.
Game 5.
And they went to a Game 5 with Houston. So they played more games than the Cavs did. And when it came down to it, with those last 6 minutes when everyone's missing buckets, the Cavs were a little bit less tired. I mean, that's the Golden State Warriors' strength is that they're going to run you up and down the court. But you've been running up and down the court for, 24 games? That's gonna eat into your. And I don't think Curry ever really recovered from that ankle injury. Knee injury. I don't think he ever really. I think there were flashes, but the Curry we saw during the regular season, he was not there for that series. I mean, he averaged 18, 20 points?
Yeah.
Wasn't hitting his threes, wasn't money, and Klay didn't step up enough that he did against Portland and Houston to really offset it. I mean, Klay didn't have a great series either. He had moments, but there really wasn't. He just wasn't there to say, okay, Steph, I'll step up. And LeBron really did put the team on his back. I mean, Kevin Love is an enigma. Whether he's going to be traded, whether he's going to be a role player off the bench like Iguodala, or what the situation is, that's going to come to pass. But LeBron put the team on his back, and he got to bring a title to Cleveland, and I can't help but respect the man for that just a little bit.
Now, do you think that the NBA was rigged, if I dare ask that question?
I think there was ABC did have a hand in drawing out the series. I mean, do I feel that way? There was Believe Land that came out a month ago, the 30 for 30 about Cleveland and their 52-year struggle, which was done by ESPN, who's owned by ABC. I mean, I don't feel like they rigged the game so that the Warriors lost, but I think that the technical that Draymond received in Game 4, I mean, if he's not going to get suspended for kicking somebody in the nuts, but swinging at somebody as they step over him, if somebody steps over me, I'm not a violent guy. I'm gonna swing at you.
Now, I'm gonna if you're gonna bring up that point about Draymond Green, I was watching one of the best documentaries that you will ever see, and that was the OJ documentary that was done on ESPN, the Made in America, and one of the last sequences talking about Part 5. One of the attorneys from the OJ, there's no spoiler alert. OJ chopped his wife. He got away with it, but then he didn't get away with stealing his own stuff. The irony of that. But one of the attorneys, talked about in terms of that case and the robbery charges and the criminal charges that OJ faced. He talked about the 5th round and why O.J. Simpson really got busted. O.J. was involved with kidnapping somebody. He had somebody at gunpoint, but the attorney was like, well, it was gun charges. Nobody really got killed. The stuff in question really wasn't that surmountable in the long run. But he mentioned the fifth round and saying, well, they didn't get OJ then, but the reason why he got a 33-year sentence with his parole being up in 2017, the reason why he got all that time was for punishment for not being busted for killing his wife in the first place. And this brings me to the point in Draymond Green. Not saying that it's justified, because Draymond Green should not have been suspended Game 5. But because of that past that he had with the Thunder and his previous occurrences as being a quote-unquote dirty player, not saying that he is a dirty player myself, but because of the actions that he did in the past, and
he got New England Patrioted.
He got what?
He got New England Patrioted. Like how they didn't go after the Patriots for Spygate, and they were like, okay, don't do that again. And then they did obviously some other cheating, which may or may not have actually been cheating. And they're like, okay, now we're going to throw everything we got at you.
But that's what happened to Draymond Green.
That's what happened to Draymond.
Now, we're going back to Game 7, and I'm not going to say one bit that this series was rigged. This is basketball. Unless somebody proves to me, unless there's a criminal case, a criminal charge, something that happens in Vegas where, a bunch of people in the upper rim of things, this series was not rigged. This series came down to two teams that were going two different directions. Once Draymond Green got taken out of the picture, once Andrew Bogut got hurt, that's really when the Warriors got a little bit exposed, because you basically took away the physicality that Bogut brought, and in a way, Draymond Green, because Draymond Green in that Game 6 and in that Game 7 is like, well, if I do anything to jeopardize my team again, if I, possibly commit another physical act that
we lose Game 6, and I get suspended for Game 7, we lose completely. So he's gonna play more tentatively. He played balls to the wall in Game 7. I mean, he had 32?
Yeah, 32 points.
32 points, 10 rebounds. I mean, he led the Warriors in 4 categories that night. I think the only thing he didn't lead was blocks,
which was LeBron James. And that brings me up to LeBron James's point. And for all the critics, for all the things that happened in LeBron James's career in the past, including some of the things that I didn't agree with him in terms of this series, with him getting Draymond Green suspended, because I feel that he did bait Draymond Green into getting suspended. But we saw one of the best performances, one of the best playoff performances in the history of basketball. I mean, the man became only the 5th player in history to put up a triple-double. I mean, he was scoring at will. He was defending on both sides of the ball. I mean, all the things that Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith have accused him in the past of not being the leader.
Worst show on sports ever. First take. Worst show ever. Sorry.
I personally like Stephen A. Smith. He's an inspirational mind. But for him, he did all the things that the critics talked about that he couldn't do in the past. He did that this series. He was accountable, and he proved it with his game. That block in the end where Curry was coming down lane and he swatted.
That was game right there.
That was the game, and for him, it pretty much. I mean, LeBron James, ever since he was in high school, he was this basketball prodigy. But the way we look at prodigies, and we've had guys in the past like Kwame Brown, we've had a bunch of guys from New York that were supposedly the next big thing. But this is a prodigy that has come full circle and is realized. LeBron James came back to Cleveland after basically having a nice little summer 2-year vacation in Miami. Not 2 year, 4 year, right? He was in there
He was 3 years.
He was 3 years. He had a little 3-year vacation in Miami. He wanted a taste of what it was like to win a ring. He won himself 2, and then came back, and it's come full circle. So credit to LeBron James, the defense that he played with, the passion that he played with, and the fact that he was able to hit shots when he needed to, and for the fact that the Warriors, I mean, here's the thing, the Warriors have been able to shoot teams out of the building night in and night out, and that almost became the case in Game 7. The Cavs were 1 of 16 at the half when shooting from 3, yet only found themselves down by 8 points. And because they continue that pressure, and here's one thing that is the big misnomer. I mean, LeBron James is getting his glory, but Kyrie Irving, Uncle Drew, has emerged himself to be that number 1 pick, that number 1 overall pick that the Cavs made him out to be. The man was just absolutely incredible. I mean,
he scored the go-ahead 3 against Steph Curry, the 3-making machine.
And I really felt that, in that sense, I felt that Kyrie Irving should have been named at least co-MVP for that finals, because when LeBron James was not hitting in these finals, when LeBron James wasn't at his best, Kyrie Irving was filling that role of getting the key buckets when they needed to. So credit to Cleveland. You know what? Whatever people want to talk about in terms of the Blue Land and you know the things that are happening on ABC, and were they hoping that they would stretch this to Game 7? And was there maybe an excuse to expand this series and get the best out of it money-wise? Maybe.
This is going to go down as one of the best basketball series, like, that doesn't involve the Lakers, the Clippers, or not the Lakers and the Clippers, Lakers and Celtics, or Michael Jordan. Like, this is going to be, this is a defining moment. And I think that as much as I just cannot support Cleveland or LeBron, this guarantees him a Hall of Fame ballot, as long as he doesn't, go the OJ route like you mentioned earlier.
LeBron James is not going to go that route. It was different era. LeBron James, congratulations. You have helped win the first title in Cleveland since 1962, the Jim Brown days, and now the question is, where can they do it again? I think the first thing that the Cavs need to do is get rid of Kevin Love. Kevin Love, I mean, for the good defense that he played in Game 7, I felt that he was kind of the piece that just did not fit necessarily. I mean, Cavs as a team, they fit together like a puzzle. But it felt that Kevin Love, at certain points in time, wasn't needed in some cases. And I still think that Kevin Love thinks that he's still one of the best players in the NBA, and that he just needs to go to a place where he can play that role of being a power forward that can stretch the floor and shoot the 3. What are your thoughts?
When Kevin Love was playing power forward, the Cleveland Cavaliers were a -20. When LeBron was playing power forward and Kevin Love was on the floor, they were a +20. When Kevin Love was on the bench and LeBron was at power forward, they were a +40. That's a 60-point gap. That's huge. That's ridiculous. I don't think he's a great fit for that team. I don't think he's great. He played great on the road. I mean, maybe Game 7 he played better, but for the most part, he really wasn't as solid on the road kind of combatant. And for the star power that he's supposed to bring, like LeBron's supposed to be LeBron, whether he's in the African desert or in New York, like wherever he plays, he's LeBron. Wherever Steph Curry plays, he's Steph Curry. Kevin Love, good Kevin Love, bad Kevin Love. There was definitely a drop off in the away games versus the home games for him.
All right. So now moving on. The NBA draft is in a week. We've also got UEFA soccer. I'm gonna be Democratic here. I'm feeling pretty good, even though it's hotter than baby Jesus out in
the sun's literally on the other side of the shade.
Yeah, the sun's literally on the other side of the shade. It's about 95 degrees in Woodland Hills, California. Highest part of the valley. I was supposed to go to the beach today, but then I got stuck in at work. But what do you want to talk about? You want to talk about draft? You want to talk about UEFA? You want to talk about Messi playing against Team USA? Or do you want to talk about the beatdown that Chile gave to Mexico?
All right, let's start with Mexico. With Mexico and Chile. That game plays 10 times. Mexico's not embarrassed 8 of those times. They lose 2 of those 8, or 2 of those 10. But, I mean, that was just, they were not on point. Chile was on point, and nothing rolled their way. I mean, there was 3 second chance goals. There was a miraculous Vargas' 4th goal where the guy saved it from going out of bounds at the last possible second. And it just wasn't their night. And then as far as that, like, go Chile. Like, I mean, they scored 7 goals. That's 7 more than Colombia scored.
Now, for that game, I mean, I was actually I didn't get a chance to watch that game because I was eating at the Doghouse. Never been there before. Great restaurant down on not Victory Boulevard, Canyon, right? Canoga Park. Yeah, I was at the Doghouse and I was looking at the score, 2-0 Chile. And I'm like, well, Mexico's gonna come back. I mean, this is a team that's resilient. It's got a lot of star power on it, well coached. But one of the big issues that has been occurring with that team was the fact that they didn't really have a set rotation and that they had switched their goalies. Do you think that lack of chemistry played into their demise against Chile?
I think it definitely did. They also have a tendency when it's not the World Cup to send in not always their best players. And I get it, like when you have like the Gold Cup or whatever, but this is the Copa America, and it also helps build your team together. I mean, Argentina puts out 90% the same team, whether it's the World Cup or any other international tournament. I mean, maybe a friendly or two is different, but that's gonna bite you. That's gonna bite you because like a team like Germany or a team like Spain when they won the World Cup, they played on a club team together. I mean, other than Casilla and maybe a couple other players, they all played for Barcelona. When Germany won, there was a large part of them that played for Bayern Munich. Like, you play together, you play better. You're able to bring out the best in each other.
Now, one of the big questions about that game was why wasn't Javier Chicharito Hernandez more involved? I mean, in the Bundesliga, the man's considered a god. I mean, the goaling streak that he had for what is it? Not Schalke. The club team that Chicharito is on. I mean, he is looked at right now in Germany like a god. I'm just surprised that Chicharito wasn't involved in it. And once again, like you said, Mexico has a weird habit of either holding back its superstars or not playing them or not giving them the touches. Do you think that after this loss, Mexico is going to have yet another head coaching change? Leverkusen.
I think it's not just the coaching. I think it's just that I don't think Chicharito he's a striker, but he's not a striker that has a lot of attributes that we look at like Drogba when he was at his form. Like Drogba could play striker all by himself, and that was fine. Chicharito, I mean, he didn't contribute. He contributed one goal to the tournament, and then the other goal against Venezuela, like he was right there, but he wasn't trying to get separation. He was right next to Corona. Corona's trying to score. You want to give that guy space because if he passes you the ball, the defender just has to turn around and he's right in your face. And I think Chicharito is a player that over a 40 game season, he's gonna put up a bunch of goals and he's gonna have great moments. But in a tournament where you really need that shining star, that David Beckham,
the individual
Landon
play.
Donovan. That one play that's gonna just set the tone. I don't think he's that guy. And
like Lionel Messi,
yes,
making
he's
his
not
first
Messi.
start and just absolutely tearing it up.
No, I mean Lionel Messi came in against Panama for like 20 minutes into the game and scored 3 goals and it was like, all right, do you guys want me to score more? Like, how does this work? I mean, and then getting to Messi with the Mexico or with the USA game, like if we can keep them under 3 goals, like I think we have a chance.
That brings up my next point. So we got USA versus Argentina, and I've been telling people this whole week that Argentina playing the U.S. in soccer is like Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls playing against probably the best European basketball team.
The European All-Star team.
Like the European All-Star team. This is like the best that South America has to offer with the best player of our era versus a USA team that has shown a lot of resilience, a lot of heart, but is going to be missing Bobby Wood and Jermaine Jones. Yes, they're going to have Quentin Dempsey. Does Christian Pulisic come off the bench? That remains to be seen. But this game is going to be one of the most hyped up games, I think, in soccer history, and probably the best game in terms of soccer history because of the fact that you've got Lionel Messi in the U.S., the best player in all of soccer, and the fact that he gets to grace the United States with his presence and show off his skill. I'm almost looking forward more to watching him play than I am hoping for Team USA win. Do you think USA has a shot?
Yes.
Why?
I think they always have a shot. I mean, USA is definitely a dark horse contender, but we've played well this tournament. I mean, other than the Colombia game where we were undefeated, we've always been a team that plays well against top teams. I mean, when we played Germany last year last World Cup, I mean, granted they weren't playing all out because we were both going on to the next round, but we held our own for what was basically a 90-minute like playing in USA half, and we only gave up 1 goal. We played solid defense, and that was against a team where everyone's a weapon. When we played Italy, when they won the World Cup, that was a tie. That was their only tie of the tournament.
And that game against Holland too, even in that elimination game, getting that goal by who was it that?
Oh, you talking about Belgium?
Yeah, I'm talking about Belgium.
Getting that goal, I think it was Lukaku.
Huh?
I don't remember who scored.
It was one of the oven scores. But you know what? Like as you were saying again with the U.S. playing against top teams.
Again, Belgium, they're not a walkover team. They're not like we got. It's not like we're playing, some team that barely, trying to think, like Northern Ireland. I mean, granted they won over the weekend, but they haven't won since 1983. We're not playing a team like that where they haven't had a lot of international success. Argentina has a lot. Lionel Messi has a lot. I mean, he probably has 2 shelves full of trophies that are all professional trophies. But Argentina as a team has little to no hardware.
Now, do you think that because of that superstar power that Lionel Messi is going to bring, do you think that this game, in a way, just to help further and enhance the soccer culture in the U.S., do you think that this could be one of the top 5 games in the United States history?
I think this is going to be a game that's going to be a really great game. I mean, part of me says it's going to be Argentina by a bazillion goals, but part of me says that that's just not who the United States national team is. As a team, like, we fight, and we're not gonna go, okay, we're down 4-0, like, let's just quit. It's gonna be like, okay, well, let's get 1. Okay, we can get a second one. All right, let's get a third one. Like, we can fight, and we're not gonna give up. And I think the team just has a lot of heart. And I also think Jurgen Klinsmann still knows that his job's on the line.
Yeah. I don't think that Jurgen Klinsmann's job is on the line now. The fact that he won the pool and then with the big victory in Seattle, um, but uh, but for this Argentina team, I mean, Lionel Messi, the Argentinian coach would be absolutely dumb to not bring him and not start him and play this game as if this was a real hardcore World Cup game. I mean, besides it being a Copa America, I mean, the amount of money to be made based on Messi's face and having it played in the United States is just unbelievable. Now, in terms of the result, I think that the USA will fight. USA's defense has been a lot better. I think DeAndre Yedlin as a defensive forward has played a lot better. And even the young talent like Christian Pulisic, I mean, he's been getting his looks, and I think that Jurgen Klinsmann should actually start him. Him along with Dempsey, you go with the wild card and you play with all your chips on the table. You never know what could happen. I think though what's going to happen is that Messi is going to somehow find himself in the box late or find himself streaking down the field. He's going to dance around 4 or 5 guys. He's going to put in a gem goal, and he is going to get the roar of applause from this American crowd who is here to watch Team USA win, but also at the same time too, I think the fans are going to appreciate his greatness, appreciate his legendary status, appreciate what he's done for the sport of soccer, and respect him as one of the all-time players that has ever been on the soccer field. And I think that there's nobody that's better in this generation. Not Cristiano Ronaldo.
Does he have any goals for Portugal in their 2 ties that they have?
What?
Does he have any goals in their 2 ties?
No.
Portugal's tied, and they're in the worst group I've ever seen.
So
gotta pull this out.
no Cristiano, and definitely there. So this is a chance for U.S. soccer to really enhance itself and just allow itself to be enamored and to watch Lionel Messi play, but at the same time to compete. I say Argentina is going to win 2-1. Now moving on to another topic, we've got the NBA draft this week, and hold on, now we're about to talk a little bit of Ronaldo.
Hungary, Iceland.
Shout out to my father living there. Don't come back to the United States.
And
Happy Father's Day.
Okay, none of those teams were in the World Cup that we last had. Portugal is supposed to. I mean, Cristiano Ronaldo should be able to play all 3 of these teams by himself, and they should win. The fact that they're third in their group right now is disappointing. And if they get eliminated, that just it's just embarrassing.
Yeah, you've got Hungary, you've got Iceland, and you've got Austria. Iceland, home of 330,000 residents. I think that this is their first major tournament in their country's history. You've got Hungary, who, thank God for that country, because that's where my crazy father lives. John Hanson, if you watch this, I want you to stay there. You're going to come to Connecticut for my sister's wedding, but once you come, go back and keep living there. I love you, but like I said, thank you, Hungary, for allowing my dad to live in residence. Hungary had itself a wonderful game against Austria. I mean, that is one country that I think could actually be the Cinderella story. Yeah, it was Austria-Hungary. Back in the day, World War I. But that is one team that has looked very, very hungry. Yeah. And I think that they could end up kind of being this Cinderella story. Will they make it? How many rounds is it?
4-2-2-1 is the current standing.
No, but I'm talking about is it 16 teams? Is it quarterfinals? How many teams to get to be in the knockout round?
There's 8 groups, I believe.
Yeah. Okay. So there's 8 groups, so that means
30. No, 6 groups.
So 6 groups. There's
top 2, and then I believe they have wild cards. I don't know the exact. Anyway. They follow the Euro last time.
Anyway, I like Hungary. So now moving on. Now that we're done talking about soccer and my father, we get to move on to the baseball diamond.
Kershaw gets the W.
Kershaw against Strasburg. So you're saying that Kershaw gets the W against Strasburg?
Yeah, Trey Thompson hits a solo home run late in the bottom of the 7th. Were they home?
Yeah, they're home.
Bottom of the 7th, Trey Thompson hits a 1-run home run, and both pitchers pitch a solid 7-8 innings, and it goes 1-0.
I think that the Dodgers are going to win this game 3-1. Kershaw has absolutely owned Bryce Harper throughout his career. I expect him to continue the domination. But, I mean, I mentioned about a week ago that the Dodgers during this time around May and early June, that's when they start to get in this funk. Well, all of a sudden, Justin Turner's starting to get hot. He's now starting to be the player that he was last year.
He's a gnome in disguise. He's secretly a gnome. Justin Turner?
Possibly.
He's secretly a gnome.
Quite possibly be true. But he is now starting to heat up, so I see him getting a couple of base hits. But in terms of this matchup, the fact that this is the first time, or is it the second time? I think this is the first time that Kershaw and Strasburg have played against each other. I'm really excited for this game. Love watching Strasburg pitch, the amount of power that he has. But Clayton Kershaw right now, I mean, I think he's about to add another Cy Young award. I mean, as good as Jake Arrieta has been for that Cubbies team, and I see the Cubbies winning.
I mean, he wins the Cy Young, but Madison Bumgarner wins MVP of World Series.
Yeah, it's an even year. All right, now moving on. Last topic. We have the draft coming up, and looking at the numbers, the Lakers have got $62 million in the salary cap. They hold the number. They have to hold the number 2 pick.
Coming to LA.
Save us, LeBron. No, I'm just kidding.
We're gonna get LeBron and Durant.
We don't need LeBron or Durant. That's just so corny. I want the Lakers team to be a team that they take a bunch of draft picks just like the Warriors and all of a sudden turn into a machine. Do we still have that superstar quality? Do we have the money? Yes, we do. But in terms of the Lakers draft, and also having the ability to now shop D'Angelo Russell. Apparently, D'Angelo Russell is on the trade block right now, according to my sources. So, who should the Lakers draft? Do you like Ingram, or do you like our guy from LSU, Simmons?
I gotta go with Simmons. I feel like Simmons. I mean, he really could have been. It really could have solidified his draft stock with the NCAA tournament that he was. LSU didn't qualify for, I'm guessing. I mean, he really. I think he just played on a bad team. But I think he's the best player in the draft class.
Yeah, Ben Simmons is the most athletic player in this entire draft. I mean, the guy's proven that he can get down the floor real well for being 6'11". I mean, he's 18 years old. That's one thing that we have a lot in this draft is we've got a lot of juniors and seniors, and you know what, with a guy like Draymond Green who came out as a senior, and you know with his success now, you can actually maybe rely on some of these older players to be successful. But in terms of overall talent and who can make an immediate impact with his athleticism alone, Ben Simmons is a good player. However,
he'd be a solid face of the franchise.
However, I'm going to disagree with you and say Brandon Ingram. I love his Duke pedigree. The fact that he can stretch the floor and shoot a lot better than Ben Simmons. You basically need now a guy in this NBA day and age to now be able to not just score in the paint, but to be able to shoot threes. Ingram is long, he's firm. I also like the fact that he comes from Mike Krzyzewski's background. He's a lot more mature. The fact that Ben Simmons was actually going to be put on academic probation for failing to even make a 2.0 at LSU shows me.
I don't need him to be so smart. I need him to make baskets.
But the thing is, how can you trust his integrity? I like Brandon Ingram's integrity. I think that he will provide a leadership role that this Lakers team desperately needs, with having the likes of Nick Young. Maybe he can knock some sense into this team and maybe fill that role. Although I've heard from other sources too that the Lakers' dark horse pick could end up being Buddy Hield, because Kobe's been working with him.
I like Buddy Hield. I like Ben Simmons. I like Brandon Ingram. I think they're all solid picks, and any one of them could be fantastic. I don't want us to waste what hopefully is our last top 5 pick for a very long time.
And $60 million in the salary cap. Who do you think will come to the Lakers? Because right now, I mean, we could be straight faced with you and say, oh yeah, we could just BS and just say, oh yeah, we're gonna get Kevin Durant. LeBron James is a free agent. Oops, he just won a championship. DeMar DeRozan is a free agent. Tons of guys out there.
He can't even hack in the East.
DeMar DeRozan
from the Raptors. They can't hack it in the East. They barely. I mean, they were the East Finals was. It was embarrassingly bad. Like, he's gonna come here. I don't know.
Didn't the Raptors take the Cavs to 6 games?
Yeah, because they won them 2 at home and then they lost 2 badly. I think that was the worst point differential in back-to-back games. They won. It was.
Well, Toronto's got a young team. Shout out to Fear the North, and shout out to Drake for once again joining another bandwagon. I don't listen to your music, but that's cool. Anyway, so that just about wraps it up for the show. Of course, Team USA is playing Tuesday against Argentina. The NBA draft is Thursday. We got Strasburg and Kershaw tonight. We'll have another show coming up for you this week. You've been listening to the Cali Sports Report. I'm Ethan Hanson.
I'm Zach Groff.
Peace.